Okay, welcome everybody. We are now live for the public broadcast portion of the ExO Economy Core meeting. This is the 1 billionth edition of this meeting. I don't really remember the number exactly. Okay. Welcome everybody. And I always forget to mute myself public here. Okay, great. And and so these are exciting times. There's a lot of wonderful things going on. It has been wonderful broadcasting these meetings. I can't tell you how many times I have received an inbound request for somebody wanting to know more about the economy and sent them to the playlist that I believe Kevin must have lovingly curated for us because I didn't do it. So just everybody know that if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a playlist at youtube.com/openexo. Under the playlist, you'll find ExO Economy Core calls, and you can spend hours now watching past meetings and learning all about the ExO economy and where you might want to fit in. So thank you for that. Today's meeting, we have a special guest with us, Stephen Rodriguez. Stephen, welcome.
Hello, microphone.
All right, great to see you today, Stephen. Stephen's joining us from Washington, D.C., and he's representing an ExO chapter or a group of folks there in Washington, D.C. that are doing things, and he's come to share with us today. And possibly, did you create a proposal? I can't remember.
Yes, I did create a proposal on the platform.
Awesome, on Sway. So he'll be talking about a Sway proposal as well. Remember, if you hear about Sway proposals are our early stages of the governance of what is effectively growing up to be a DAO. So you have to vote. It's participatory democracy. And if you don't participate, it doesn't work. So with that, Stephen, I'm going to hand it over to you to tell us all about Washington, D.C.
Oh, all right. Thank you. So the proposal that I'm putting forth is, I planned, so to give you some context, from the DXO 2020 event in December, me and a few community leaders kind of got together to think about how do we expand on EXO and kind of accelerate the exposure to the EXO mindset. And so part of the proposal is, can we work throughout the year to kind of expose people through monthly EXO meetups based on the 11 attributes for 2021, for example, as a potential project in exchange for tokens and such forth. So really, our syllabus is, January through December, pretty much, kind of going monthly attribute deep dive sessions, let's call it. We held the first one in January, kind of to test drive how this could possibly work. And so we've kind of outlined, and we made it available, obviously, so anybody else can kind of learn and take from these examples and pick and choose what's useful for them. But in the January example, for example, here we focused on EMTP, and we had a special guest, Brandon Dubé. Brandon was actually the one who introduced me to EXO to begin with. So I was glad to have him participate as this special speaker. A few learnings here. The community, we tried StreamYard to have it be more production oriented, but they wanted something more participatory, something like a Zoom. I thought they were going to be fatigued from Zoom, but they prefer that one-to-one connection in the actual meeting. So we're actually shifting away from StreamYard in that sense. But we've already kind of gathered some resources. We have different media assets that we're using to promote to the community. And so the next one, for example, thanks to Kevin and others who have suggested different potential speakers from the EXO community to kind of be those speakers to talk about the potential attributes. So every month we wanted to focus on a particular attribute, and every speaker has an interesting ability to kind of help us fine tune this more. So apart from just targeting the regular community, we're being a little more focused, where in March we're focusing on some government stakeholder folks, some economic development or entrepreneur support organization folks, and then some of the big companies like social tables and such that are in the area. But ideally, every month we want to build on the past community. So keep adding more and more community members so that by the end of the year, by December, we actually have hopefully exposed close to 1,500 new people to the EXO mindset. And in addition to that, kind of promoting the different pieces throughout the year, like the DEXO initiatives or any other potential EXO related event or initiative, to kind of bring the local community into the whole, the broader global community in that sense.
That is excellent. So I love that you're creating this sort of template and sharing the resources. That's fantastic. I hope other people in the community that are seeing this will take advantage of that. The question, well, actually, I'll take it offline, but we do have an event platform that is highly interactive and participatory. The logistics of potentially doing a test run with you in the DC area aren't that complex. So maybe we want to try that out. It would be the same event platform we use for EXO World events. I'll ping Kevin and we'll see what it means to set that up. It just depends on if it's crazy complicated or if it's something we can sort of, here's your door to walk through, Stephen, give it a go kind of situation. So let me see what that's about, and we'll go from there, okay? Because that could be super fun because you get the networking and you get the stages, and you would feed your stage into the main stage using the StreamYard account you have. Anyway, we can brainstorm on that later. But regarding your actual SWAY proposal, what is in your proposal that you're looking for today?
Ideally, for the energy and effort to kind of, make sure that we're bringing in more community members, kind of exposing them, and hopefully, in addition to the EXO meetups, we're thinking about EXO clinics. So apart from the monthly events, then we're thinking people are going to have questions. So can we experiment with some EXO clinics where it's open office hours, whether it's me or other community leaders that are EXO trained, or whether it's a sprint coach or a consultant or even an ambassador, kind of helping people answer some of their questions. And so for this program, or for the set of initiatives in DC, to exchange it for 1,400 EXO tokens, based on the model from, I forgot who mentioned that they were doing something similar. So that was the proposal. I don't know if that answers the question though.
And that is under the Funding Your Exponential Ideals Challenge. Can you post the link to the actual proposal?
Yes.
I'm looking for it. And I don't see it immediately. So, okay, thank you very much. So Stephen will post the link for his SWAY proposal. All of you by now should be in SWAY. If you're not, we'll get you in there. But he'll need people to take a look at his proposal, make any suggestions, or there's a number of ways to interact with the proposal in SWAY to help. The reason we use it is it's a form of governance that allows us to make decisions together. That's what SWAY is for. And we can, your proposal will either pass, Stephen, or it will not. And if it does not, people will give you feedback and help you refine it. I suspect it will, but it's not just my call. We have to vote on it.
So you cannot see Stephen's proposal because it already has enough votes and it's moved to
well, there you go. There you go. If there was ever anybody that needed to know if that's the community voting, it is. I had nothing to do with that. So congratulations, Stephen. So you've already passed. Once a proposal passes in SWAY that has a request for EXOs, the EXO Economy Core Treasury is effectively duty bound to fulfill that request. So someone will be in contact with you to coordinate.
Got it. Well, thank you so much. But I still value any feedback. We're still doing iterative feedback throughout every month that we're doing this, but also welcome any other ideas or best practices, if you will, from other community leaders across the different cities. So hopefully, awesome. I reduce the learning pains as we go in DC.
That's beautiful. Maybe we'll have to raise the number of votes in the future. I don't know. We'll see. We started at 8, and I don't think we knew why. So maybe we've got to look and see where that goes. But wonderful. Congratulations, and also congratulations to this group for another successful community-governed proposal. I don't know if everybody really understands and appreciates how actually difficult it is to get something like that to happen, and it's a really really amazing. So I guess our second presentation today will not be happening. I do not see Salim here, so I will try to chase him down. But let's move on to the next part. So we'll go Eric, I know you already gave some updates. If you have any more, you can go after Nikki, and then we'll get on to the individual project updates. So today, Nikki, we'll go popcorn style because I want to try to take care of a couple of things while we're going along. So Nikki, once you're done, just pass it over to Eric. And Eric, when you're done, you pick somebody and just let that flow continue, popcorn style. So rock and roll, let's go.
All righty, here we go. I have stuff to show you this week.
Woo.
Thank you. These are the roles that we're applying for or asking for in the marketplace. So this is an example of how the community is working together. They're paid in EXOs. They know what we're up to. We're trying to just take our project a little bit further. But we've got this ongoing deadline coming of the 3rd birthday. And so what we're interested in doing is showing you some updates of how it's going to be served up. So we've got a website in process. Oops, where's the website? Okay, here's one of the fields of the website. Oh, there we go. So this is the base design for the ExO Economy website update. So what you see currently is old, it's kind of outdated, it's technical. We're gonna make this a little bit easier for people to absorb and come into the community and start with their feet running. This is going to be a field that moves. We've got 3 different value propositions there. Value proposition here for demonetized, democratized, decentralized. That's as technical as our jargon gets. The rest is going to be engaging people and bringing them in to start to understand this. And then we've got the types of people who will be working on different token exchange, value exchanges, and coming into the community and feeding into the marketplace and other aspects of the community. That's people, organizations, cities, and developers. We're trying to build out the developers so that we start to bring in more and more people utilizing our APIs and then eventually them bringing stuff to our table. This will be the media site. This will be the ExO Economy channel for Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, any kind of value exchange propositions, just walking the talk, if you would. And then insights will be all the access to the tools, all the wallets, the blog, any social media that we're doing. You'll just start to see all of the engagement possibilities here. And then we've got this work in progress. This is an infographic that describes this is the overview of all the wallets that we offer and when you use them and how you use them, that sort of thing. So what we'll do is break these out into use cases. So it's like, as an individual, this is how you might transact with these wallets. So there's a visual representation of what it takes to get through this process, because most people just stop if they get into a technical glitch. We're moving on to the April 8th birthday launch, and we're looking at doing some gamification examples. So there's a survey currently open, and I'd like you to take the time to answer 3 simple questions. What games do you play? What are your favorites and why? And what we're taking from that, and it's private, so you don't have to worry about exposing yourself to whatever you watch. But what we're trying to do is say people in the economy are being tokenized in the 3rd birthday party for doing certain behaviors. So if you post a comment on one of our social posts, or if you have a certification under your belt, or if you start to walk the behavior of downloading the new wallet and then starting to use it, we will allow you to, in this case, double each of your transactions for a period of 30 days to show that exponential curve. So we're going to do 30 days of doublings to prove that you can get from, if it was $1 to $1 billion at the end, because the exponential goes slow, flat curve, and then all of a sudden it's that we hit the knee and then it just takes off. So we're going to give you the experience of that by giving you tokens for gameplay. So what we're asking for is for you to fill out the survey. Are you a Facebook, Twitter person? Do you play Candy Crush? What are the behaviors that we're associating with this? It's sort of an emotional tie-in to having people make decisions. And so here's the survey. It's up on the map, on the community bulletin board, I believe, community circles. And so that link, I don't know if I can share this link in here. Maybe I will. So if you could just answer these 3 questions, it will be helpful. I want EXO mind thinkers, to see what their behaviors are and what inspires them, so we can incentivize you accordingly. And that's it for today.
Amazing. It's over to you, Eric.
Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Nikki. Good seeing everyone again. As we spoke earlier, we are continuing to accelerate our efforts to bring the Exos token to the market. So there's a lot happening on that end. And related to that, the documentation efforts with the BizDev overview, that is still open for review. So that link is posted in the chat. Happy to get the community to take a look at that and provide us with feedback. And then the tech overview is still undergoing internal review, so looking to get some more feedback with that. And once we feel that that's in good shape, happy to share it with the larger audience here. And as we just heard Stephen Rodriguez's presentation, thanks again, Stephen, for his Exos meetups in the Washington, D.C. area here in the USA. The Treasury Core team will be meeting to get him funded. So that's great. So that's all I had. And then I'd like to hand it over to Vanessa.
Morning, everybody. Let me just share here. I am sharing on the chat the final stats for February 2021 and the comparison between this month and last month. Promoting the EXO Community Awards event, the EXO Women, mostly in Spanish, and continuing sharing everything from the Open EXO events and communities. And so growing there. We also be sharing the report for the whole month that show all the graphs and all the graph and information from February. That is all I got. Do I choose to come next? Cesar?
Yeah, let me focus on the Rotanio sister economy today. We have yes, we have Michelle here. So I would say the more important thing happening in Rotanio this month is the celebration of the EXO Women. So it's a great campaign where they are celebrating all the great EXO women we have in the community, and they are engaging new women communities also into the whole ecosystem. Feel free to follow the progress and the information and the posts on the Rotanio social networks. And I think it's a great opportunity to recognize all the great women we have in the network, as well as bringing new. So Rotanio has been very happy helping some EXO volunteers to make it happen.
Awesome. Thank you, Cesar. Who would you like to go next?
Yes, Kevin.
Perfect. So my update's pretty quick this week, just with regards to EXOs. We are, of course, as you can see behind me here, still running the EXO prize, and we are in our third week. I have distributed the EXOs to go to the coaches. We are having a few data issues, and Najib has actually just created a Discord channel there, so we can actually keep everything there, because I'm always on his WhatsApp, and that's probably not the right place to do it. And so we will have the coaches EXOs distributed. All the team members EXOs will happen hopefully later this week, and then every team, you may have noticed on the platform, some teams have already put up their opportunities, which are for 300 EXOs for whatever they want to use an advisor for. I've noticed some for disrupt, sort of like pre-disrupt mentoring and coaching. So that's how we're using EXOs there. And then tomorrow we'll be running two welcome to the community webinars. We actually haven't run one in a long time, which is pretty bad. And of course, part of that, it's mostly Q&A, but I always start off just giving an outline of the community, which includes sharing about EXOs. this time around, I want to try and see whether it makes sense, whether we have the time and how it looks to actually really get people to download the wallet, right? And if they do that, to give them some EXOs. So because like I've been saying, I think at every meeting this year, we really want to get these things connected up, which Nikki and Eric are doing a fantastic job. So that's everything for me. And Michelle, you can go next.
Hi, from Divergenti. This week, we are going to start our workshops for the different specialists in the community. So we have created our leaders of groups that are going to deal with digital marketing, e-commerce, and the digital mindset groups. And all of them are now are familiar with our with the ExO Foundation's program, and we're going to start to give the workshops for the participants in the community. So this week we're going to have a lot of people coming in and introducing them to what we do, and another workshop on how to use, download, and the wallet. I mean, it will take us some time. A lot of them are new to this area. We're very excited. And on another note, we're going to be part of ExO Women. Our Divergenti women are there, who will be participating too. To you, Gerardo.
Thank you, Michelle. So on my side, we are in the ExO Prize. We're working on the ExO Prize, and I want to invite you, if you know an awesome AgTech company, invited to apply. We are making a call for selecting 10 AgTechs to put it in our pilot. So our MTP is to empower urban farmers to thrive. So if you know an AgTech that could help these urban farmers to thrive, please invite them to apply in this form that I just shared with you. And actually, the ExO Prize takes a lot of the time of the team. It's awesome, but that makes that is the only news that I have. And also, there's the ExO Women that I am collaborating with, but we have a lot of information on that already. So I invite you to apply and to participate to this awesome day on March 10th.
Very soon. Sorry to interrupt and break in. I just want to say one thing. Kevin updated on the ExO Prize. You've updated on the ExO Prize. This is a pretty amazing program, and not everybody here or watching might have even heard about it. So one moment on that. At Opening ExO, we have a process called a sprint. The sprint is normally 10 weeks for an organization, 16 weeks for a city. The ExO Prize team created a 3-week compressed crazy time version of the sprint that a few brave souls, I think there are 9 teams last I heard, a few brave souls are running right now to see if they can do it in 3 weeks and what types of innovations and incredible things that they can come up with. And everything I've seen thus far, although I haven't seen all of the teams, has been very, very inspirational. So really kind of hats off to you, Kevin, for coordinating all of that. And you're the bravest one for taking that on. I know what it takes, and it's amazing. But I hope to see this process repeated, frankly, over and over again, and perhaps even spreading throughout the sister economies and who knows where. We need to annotate this 3-week kind of hyper sprint process somehow when this is all over. But yeah, fantastic. Right back over to you, Gerardo, for choosing the next person.
I choose Lisa.
All right. I I'm working on the version 2 of Exponential Organizations book. It's going well. I reached out to the 23 chapters recently, and so it seems like more than half of the groups have already started working and getting content curation and stuff in their chapters. We have next week the ideas event, so hopefully that'll fuel even more participation and more content. So I will put the link. So if you feel free to join us next week at the Ideas Attributes event. It's the day after I believe the X Prize you guys are just talking about. It's on the 11th. And that's all. I think it's going well. Oh, and Daniel, I think.
Oh no, I'm just listening. I don't want to intrude. Yeah. Hi.
Am I is Angelo?
Angelo, yeah.
I can update. Yes, I'm the last one. Hello, community. How you doing? We have been working in several stuff with the with the marketing team. There's a lot of information coming from all around. We are organizing through Asana, discussing some way to eliminate some friction about the token and the installation of the wallet. And as all of you participate, well, not all of you, part of you participate on the ideation, we close that stage in terms of the let me show you, it's much better visualized than the other thing. Okay, well, first we are closing the experiment based on the ExO token initiative or interaction from the community. Okay, that's already done. We are going to work with that information during the next month, and also we are receiving some feedback from the success stories in Spanish and also in English. It would be nice to receive in other languages too, but for this time I only can handle Spanish and English. And on the other side, we are working on the Asana workflow. I made 3 folders basically for organize the info for the case study, for the success story from the token, and also for creating some experimentation with the community. What is the main idea there? Is to create new chances for being part of the community, using the token, interacting with the token, experiment inside the cities, any kind of thing that can engage us with the token. And what else? And can you see that? Yeah, and that's all for this time. And also I'm being part of the for the ExO Prize too. And it's time consuming, but it's a huge project. We are working on it. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Angelo. You were the last here today. Okay, so amazingly, we went through project updates very efficiently today. That was fantastic. So we actually have a little time left. Whenever this happens, the number one thing to do is first for me to ask you, or whoever's facilitating this meeting, to ask you, what do you need? Are you blocked? Can you not get something done? Do you imagine something could be better in the future than it is today? This would be a great time to raise your hand. You can either use the raise hand feature or your actual hand, and I will call and you can ask for what you need. And then this team will try to move you to a best next step. Maybe not totally resolve what it is you need, but we'll at least make sure we find out a good next step for you so you're not stuck. No one should ever be stuck. And in this call, you should always be able to ask for what you need. So looking for a show of hands. And Nikki.
Hi, I'd like to check in with Lisa and Angelo on this use case study collection that we're doing. I looked at the master list and it's like mind blowing. And so thank you for coordinating all of that. What we're interested in knowing is who in the community is connected to those use cases, and were they clients? Were they their own companies? How did they associate with finding that? I know some of it comes from training, so it's just third-party outside view, but I'm interested in knowing who actually has developed some of these companies that are existing on this use case study master list.
Okay. Who wants to help? Would that just be you needing
so I can answer that. The use case master list, well, that master list, essentially part of the consultant certification, everyone has to share five companies in their region that they believe are EXOs, and that's where the list comes from. Everyone's asked to share the company, that's URL, I believe, a little bit about it, and so that list of EXOs that's a list of exponential organizations that people have said, yeah, I've seen this company Zero, for example, in New Zealand, and they are using these exponential attributes. So that's what that list is all about.
My interest then is, who is the master of that list? I assume maybe Yaroslav, because he's the lead trainer. And then how can I get connected to the person that posted those EXOs to find out, interview them, and find out who's working on that within their own company, who has a client in that, or whether it's totally third party, because there are a massive number of lists there.
Yeah, so that list is actually put together by Jill. So she exports it from the submissions, but I mean, essentially everyone who's gone through the consultant certification has had to fill that in, right? So
right. Okay, so I'll go after certs.
But yeah, but I'm just trying to think. I mean, generally from what I understand, and when I did it, it was just looking at the region and saying these are five, not really having any sort of relationship with them at all. And I would hazard a guess that the majority is that case, although there potentially are those that have actually worked with an organization, and that's not really being tracked. So maybe that's something that's an
interesting thing to start tracking, I think. Yeah.
One little box or one little thing that
exactly
can make it better. So
exactly. So if our goal is to identify 100 use cases of community members that have actually had a part in companies becoming EXO organizations, that's kind of the goal. And so I can check in with certified people directly. I can check in with Yaroslav, who's the trainer, or I was hoping that this spreadsheet would have that little tick box that says, yes, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine.
Yeah, unfortunately not. And what you're talking about, I absolutely love, because we know that there's loads of projects that are out there that we don't even know about. So,
and we're building a map, by the way, of our people who are actually creating EXO communities and companies. And so Angelo's in charge of that. He's actually putting the heat map up with people's logos all over the world. And it would be nice to be able to visually see what our coverage is of the world.
Perfect. And
so Steven's project from DC, I mean, that should be on there. The Philippines training,
yes.
There's a bunch of stuff that should be on there.
Yeah. Nikki, what I do suggest is that you actually do reach out to Jill. So I'll just introduce you.
Okay.
Because she does quite a bit of like data aggregation from the certs.
Oh, nice.
And so
maybe she's got the answer.
So may have some of the answers that you're looking for. So I will do that.
Thank you. Solution.
Cool.
Yeah, and you mentioned Angelo's map. Angelo, I guess you're well on your way now then to starting to be able to add some items to that map. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, there's a lot going on around the world, from an EXO perspective that could show up on this map, and much of it now leveraging EXOs, purpose of this meeting. So how we connect to that and get the information flowing better so that there's that awareness is really always the challenge in our world. I mean, I think we've calculated that there have been something like 30 community sprints, for example. Many of them could have and probably did even use EXOs, and we have no idea. So, we need to start to figure out how to source that stuff in a way that's comfortable, right? So people aren't exposing information they don't want to. But I mean, you know, this heat map of EXO and especially EXO's related activity is amazing. Kevin has done some work on that in the past as well, as I remember. You used to publish some community activity maps, Kevin, a while back. So maybe you can find a way to dump that on Angelo. I don't know.
Well, our goal is to
yeah.
have some sort of a launch of the map by April 8th, the 3rd birthday of the EXOS token. And so Angelo's working diligently on that. Thank you so much. Couldn't do it without you.
We're working on it. Work in process.
Exactly.
Oh, you just gave me a funny idea, Nikki. For the 3rd birthday, we need Zoom backgrounds.
Yes.
You need to give us a birthday Zoom background.
I've got a team working on the art for it right now.
Nice.
But yes, you're right.
With some fireworks or something, I don't know.
Interesting. Okay. If anybody has any clever names of the 3rd birthday, let me know, because we're still in that editing range.
Lisa, I had an ask regarding the book. How can the EXOs or the EXO economy be more involved and help support more on the book side? Do you have any thoughts or needs or ideas that you want to share? I know I've sent you some ideas in the past, but where is that right now?
I don't know. I think maybe more case studies. There are some groups where there isn't some movement, like no activity, and I sent out some emails, so we'll see. But if I can try to find, there's some groups where there's only one person, or there's like 3 or 4 people and no movement. So if I have no movement, I would love to try to get some help and get some people to, you know, help with those chapters.
Okay, yeah, that's great. I think, you know, the one that surprised me was I saw your note about the MTP chapter. It's the more people said they wanted to work on that than any other chapter, and we're having more trouble moving that one than any of the others. It's a community project, so those types of situations are to 100% be expected. But so everybody knows, and I'll insert another commercial break here. Lisa is running a project to produce the 2nd edition of the global bestseller Exponential Organizations by Salim Ismail, Yuri Van Geest, and Mike Malone. The new one has some very interesting things and announcements coming up about it. And it's effectively, we're writing a book in public like a reality TV show. This has never happened before. In my opinion, it should be getting a lot more attention. When was the last time you saw a reality TV show about writing in the 2nd edition of a global bestseller? Never happened before, you know? So I think that, and everyone who is a chapter curator is going to be listed on that chapter in the book for their role and their help. The book itself, for the first time ever, we're doing everything we can possibly do with publishing to make sure that we can actually give away a free copy of the PDF version so that the information can distribute itself better in the world. It shouldn't be so lopsided, right? Everyone should have the opportunity to read it and leverage it if they want to. So gosh, there's so much amazing stuff going on there. Yeah, so I'll just
do want to
throw that plug in there for you, Lisa.
I know, and I do want to work on a press release. I just really wanted to make sure the curators were, like, I sent an email on next steps because some people were still lost on what to do, even after I sent the recording and all the stuff. So I sent like an email with 1, 2, 3, this is how you do it. And so hopefully in the next couple of days, I'll see which groups really do need a little more help. And so maybe at our next meeting, I can let you guys know, and then maybe somehow get the word out, like, hey, these chapters, if anybody wants to step up. So, or find somebody.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And then I have a need personally. The things that I talked about in the closed portion of the meeting regarding the acceleration of the creation of public liquidity for the EXOS token, I may need some more hands, more help. And so please stay tuned. I may ask for that. I think the best place so just you don't have to answer me right now, but I may be asking for some additional support on that because it's a fairly large project and very fast moving. The second thing is we have this Discord server, and this group meets once a week here for this live session to share our updates from all of our far-flung corners of the world with one another and help each other move everything forward, and that's fantastic. However, in between, how do you communicate? Well, most of us probably just WhatsApp each other and things like that, but I will just remind everybody that we have a Discord server. Najib has added a few new channels recently for us. Thank you, Najib. And I think that is probably the best place because it has the largest community of ExOs related people that are doing things on a day-to-day basis. And so I'm trying to remember to be better about keeping that logged in and open as one of my 4,000 social media lever clients. But just peek in there every now and then. And I think it's a place, Lisa, where you can, drum up some support if you need it in between meetings, that sort of thing, just for example. And I think we all have to just pay attention to that in general. Anybody else? Anybody else want to raise their hand? Tell us something that a better future they imagine, right? Remember, we're transforming the world for a better future all around here. Anybody?
Me.
Oh, I got one, Angela.
Yeah. Well, I need to let you know that for the map, there is a lot of work to do there. And I will be posting a lot of different positions on the marketplace during the week. But first of all, we will define the companies and also the quantity, because it will be, if we focalize on the 500 companies, will be a lot of companies, and most of them are repeated. And we need to filter it and then define it and put it in the context of the map hub and understand how flexible will help, will be a map hub in terms of weight, the size of the, because we need to deal with the images, we need to deal with the broadcast, we need to deal with several stuff. But it will be a working process. We are trying, and I'll let you know that I will need some help for the. Basically, we'll be posting some support in terms of filling the map. Just copy, pasting, editing, and that stuff.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, well, keep us, let us know when those things post, and everybody, if you're not. A lot of increased activity lately on platform.openexo.com, both in the circles and the marketplace in particular. The marketplace is a peer-to-peer marketplace where people exchange products and services for EXOs, dollars, and euros. So if you're a certified consultant or coach, then you can apply for work there and earn currency. So you might want to check that out. And the especially these days, that's a good thing. And then and if you haven't been to the platform a while, go check it out. It's constantly evolving and changing. Oh, I should update on one other thing. The team gave me a wonderful report on Monday morning about the current status of the APIs. We have APIs. So it's really cool. And this page is called openexo.com/dev. And you can see that it's the API reference index. And in particular, we're launching reference applications. And we try to launch reference applications from code that's really being used. Okay, so for example, this events list v1 is the same code. It's the exact same code that we use here on platform.openexo. I sound like I'm just doing commercials today, but no, there's a lot to show. So if you go over here, this banner, for example, leverages this reference code here to do what it does, as does the events page over here on openexo.com. So this events list also uses that same API. So the developer network meets every other Friday in the morning, Pacific time at 8 a.m. And I would say that the next Circles API, we missed February by just a little bit, but the team is really close to rolling out the Circles API, and then work will immediately begin on the Marketplace API. I am more excited about the Marketplace API than pretty much any other one that we're doing, to be honest, because it's going to allow us to do all kinds of amazing things between communities, between sister economies, between each other, on our own websites, surfacing opportunities. And imagine if there was a keyword search, for example, in the opportunities API, you'd be able to post opportunities on your own website about interesting things that are posting in the marketplace. So just fun stuff like that. So I don't need anybody here to do anything on that other than to stay aware. Come to the developer network meeting if you think you might want to produce against these APIs. In other words, leverage them programmatically for your own sites, communities, etc. So this is exciting, years in the making, and tons of progress going on from the OpenExO technology operations team that are the ones that manage the platform at platform.openexo.com. All right, I think we're done. Last call. Kevin? Oh, that was a thumbs up or, oh, okay, gotcha. Your thumb actually disappeared into the background, so it looked like you were punching. Okay, all right, well, that's it, everybody. We've got thumbs up and all around. I'll just say, I'll hit this funny little applause thing here, that thing, and because I mean, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful work by everybody out there. All the energy coming into this is palpable, and I really, really appreciate it. So thank you. And you know where I am if you need anything. And that will conclude today's broadcast. Thanks to all of you out there watching. And we will be continuing to